Welcome to the Anger Management Podcast. It's episode 7. We're still alive.
Yes.
Another week has rolled by. It's the penultimate episode of season 1, Liam.
I know.
We've made it.
This is it.
Almost
There's only one more episode, but while getting it in early, we have our very first celebrity guest on the Anger Management Podcast next week.
Next week, not this week.
We're not going to tell you.
Not this week. We've just got a bog standard guest this week.
We're not going to tell you who it is just yet, but keep an eye on our socials.
So it's the Anger Management Podcast with me, Andy Stevenson.
Me, Liam Simcox.
And our special guest, former Radio Juice FM, if I remember rightly, presenter, Gaz Ryder.
Hello.
How are you, Ride Smith?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Wait, I'm okay. I told you, straight away his radio voice.
No relation to Sean Ryder.
No relation to Sean Ryder. You haven't taken him as many drugs, have you?
No, mate.
Not yet.
Not yet. Plenty of time.
Paracetamol.
Yeah, that's it.
If I've got a really bad headache.
My little one told me that joke a few weeks back. Why is there no
Why
headache?
no aspirins in?
Why is there no headaches in the jungle? Because the paracetamol.
Oh.
Hey,
And that's been the Anger Management Podcast, episode 7.
So, Gaz is my drummer in my band, the Mighty Round in Circles. A little bit of background for regular listeners. I first met Gaz, it would have been 2003, I think. Gaz was a whippersnapper. He didn't
maybe about 2015, I reckon.
What, when I first met you?
Yeah.
No.
I reckon it was.
No, it wasn't.
I wasn't. In 2013, I'd have been 13 years old.
In 2003, you were. 2003, I'm telling you. That's when it was. How old do you think we are, Gaz?
Hold on.
2003.
No,
Think about it.
2005, sorry.
No,
That's
it
what
was
I
earlier.
Nah,
It was
it's
earlier.
not.
I'm telling you.
2005.
We used to work together at a music shop where I was the manager and Gaz was my Saturday lad. And I started there in 2003. So, no, it wasn't. It was 2002. It's the end of 2002.
See what?
I started there.
I always get mixed up with years.
2003 was when you started working there as the Saturday lad.
I'd have been 13 years old then, though.
Maybe it was
There's
2004.
No way I
then.
was working. Yeah, we'll split the difference.
Yeah, okay. We'll split the
2004.
difference. 2004.
Did I say 2015 initially?
Yeah,
I always do that.
It's definitely
Always do
not
that.
2015, guys. That was only 6 years ago.
I mean, we are in
that's-
the middle of
yeah.
a pandemic. It is easy to lose track of what year it is.
In 2015, Gaz had just started to grow that ginger beard.
Yeah, listen, when you've been friends with Steve for as long as I have, everything's a blur.
It's tough going.
You just hope it's going to end sometime soon.
I do appreciate it, mate. I appreciate you sticking with me for all these years.
I'm about the only one that has.
Yeah, but everyone else has disowned me.
But yeah, in all seriousness, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Even though you're not a celebrity.
Yes.
No.
Not
And
yet.
I'll be honest, already I'm sat here and having seen previous podcasts, I've seen that you've both made the tactical decision of removing the cajon that people have been sitting on.
That's yours.
That's mine, with a chair. Because as a drummer, I'm already tapping my legs, and if that was here, it would just be constant beats for 2
Yeah,
hours.
it would end in tears, that would. It is actually your cajon as well.
I know.
So,
Happy accident.
me and Gaz have been in bands ever since we met, really. Gaz was a young whippersnapper. I still had hair. That's why it was 2004.
I remember actually, yeah, the very first time I met you was I'd come into the shop as a customer, and I genuinely thought that Kurt Cobain had been reincarnated into this.
I was a handsome man back then.
Weird, stokey music shop worker.
Oh, dear.
I was a handsome chap back then. Hair, flowing locks, blonde flowing locks. But we very quickly established a friendship that's obviously continued right up until the present day. Obviously, I'm a drummer, and I spotted in Gaz straight away within 30 seconds of listening. He came in the shop with his dad. Shout out, Phil.
Big Phil.
Big Phil. And he came in the shop with his dad, looking for like some drumsticks or something, and you got on the kit that was set up, and it was that little Pearl kit, if I remember right, that little red one.
Yes.
And good memories.
I'm about to say good memory.
And he got on, and how long had you been playing at that point?
I started playing when I was 11 years old.
So you've got a few years under your
That'd have
belt.
been about 3 years, I reckon, at that point.
And
yeah.
straight away, I was like, ooh, this kid's really good. You can just tell. I just knew. I was like, yeah, he's good, proper good. And at that time, I was recovering from. I'd been in hospital for a long time. I had a bad accident lots of surgeries, and I was just getting back into being able to play again. The lads in my old band had moved on and gone to uni and moved away with families and kids and all the rest of it. And I was in the process of wanting to start something up again. And as soon as I met Gaz, I was like, this guy's idea. I knew he was mint from watching him play for 30 seconds. And then just chatting to him for half an hour, we just got on, didn't we? Even though you were, I mean, I would have been 23 and Gaz was like 14, 15 or whatever. I was like, no, this kid's cool. He's a cool guy. And that was it, wasn't it? I think about a week later, you came round my early studio when Anger Management was just fledgling studio.
I'm not sure you could call that a studio. It was basically your bedroom.
Yeah, it was a bedroom, really.
Started recording straight away.
Yeah, we just started laying stuff down, didn't we? And it's just gone from strength to strength in the preceding years. Now look at us sitting in here, and it looks a bit of a shithole in here right now because we're right in the process. Look, all the walls are bare.
For anyone watching on YouTube, yeah.
Hopefully next week we're going to be in the new studio. It'll look suave, but
fingers crossed.
We'll see. If not, you'll have to wait till next season.
Yes,
this is probably the cleanest I've ever seen this studio. And next week, when you're doing that podcast, will probably be the cleanest you'll ever see that studio.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
It's all downhill from there.
We make a lot of mess. It's because I always end up picking up loads of bits of drumsticks that you've dropped everywhere. That's the problem. So we formed a band. We formed Saving Grace, didn't we, Gaz? Yep. In 2004, 2005, and we were joined by Scott and Damo. If they're listening, shout out, guys. It's been a long time, and it was great.
I've still got scars from them too, actually. Mental scars, especially from Damo.
Damo had a penchant for taking his clothes off in the most inappropriate of moments.
All right.
For no reason.
Sounds a nice guy.
Didn't he? We did a video shoot in Worcester. You remember? We went on the train. Went on the train down to Worcester.
We had one rule. It was a university, and it was students that wanted to make a music video for one of the songs that we'd recorded, and it's must be 15 or so years ago now. So technology isn't what it is now. And when we went down there, they were faffing around with a few different things and trying to get stuff set up. And we said to them, look, we have one rule as a band. Do not, under any circumstances, turn the lights off and leave him on his own. And
they were like, well, why? And we were like, just trust us. Just don't do it. Just make sure there's lights. Make sure the stage is lit.
And stay with him all the time.
We had a bit of a power cut at one point.
Was it a power cut or air quote unquote?
We don't know. We just think they wanted to see what had happened. And the stage went dark for 5 seconds.
It was like an inhuman amount of time in which the stage went dark and Damo managed to get everything off. Everything.
Lights came back on.
Not just that. Covered up his member.
His member.
I like that.
His Tommy Ticklemouse.
Little plugs.
Covered up his member with a Ribena bottle.
Yeah, Ribena bottle. And they turned the lights back on. There he was standing on the drum riser as well, wasn't he?
It must have been like that, really.
Just
and it was just boom.
And there he was with a big grin on his face, thinking it was hilarious, and we're all going, "Oh, come on!"
Is he married?
He is now. I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I bet his wife's in for a treat every other night. Yeah. Click your fingers, bang, gone.
Ribena tallywhacker.
I'm just going to turn lights off, babe.
but we had some fantastic times in Saving Grace. I loved it. It was great being in that band. It was your first band, wasn't it, Gaz?
I'd been in like school bands.
Yeah,
just
first
doing
proper band.
Yeah, like we did covers and stuff and things like that. But yeah, this was the first proper originals band, and I think the first band that I'd ever played in that was playing the music or making the music that I wanted to play and make.
Yeah.
It was all the stuff that I was listening to. So, I don't know. To be fair, and this isn't just blowing smoke, but I've never really felt that comfortable in any other band. Like, there's been times where we've not been in bands together and the band has carried on. Saving Grace renamed to Full 42, and then I think there was a period where I wasn't in the band, and then Round in Circles had formed, and I've been in and out of Round in Circles. I think
you've left Round in Circles 3 times.
I think
was it twice?
No, well, I'd argue that I was kicked out a couple of those times.
Learn your parts, Gaz. Learn your parts.
We were taking his clothes off when lights went off. Is that what it was, Gaz?
I think mainly what it is with me and Gaz is we think very alike musically, which is why we've always, basically every band that I've been in every piece of music that I've made since the age of 23 has been in with Gaz involved. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because we just get each other musically, and it's almost like a relationship, a musical relationship.
It sounds cheesy, but it
But it
kind of
is.
isn't. And I don't want to sound corny myself, but there's always been something that's drawn me back to being in a band with Steve-O.
That's my rants.
Yeah,
Basically.
as I've said previously, it's weird. Nothing else has ever felt quite right or hit the nail on the head. I think the way that we write music together is it sort of connects, it locks. Kind of know what you're thinking. You kind of know what I'm thinking.
You finish each other's sentences in a musical way, if that makes sense to you. When you've got a really good friend, you know, my best friend Gaz or Chris, you finish each other's sentences. You've known each other for that long, and you know what each other are thinking, and that works on a musical front as well. Absolutely, the amount of times that we'll be learning a song, and we'll stop. And Gaz will go, hang on, I'm just thinking. And I'll go, are you thinking? And I'll play, and he'll go, yeah, but if we just tried that and that, it's there. It's in our head straight away. We know what we're after.
Bizarre.
And it makes the writing process, the recording process, not to mention live shows, it makes it so smooth because you're not constantly sitting there thinking, oh, I wish the drummer would do that, or I wish he'd do that. And Gaz, conversely, Gaz isn't sitting there going, I wish he wouldn't write songs like that. I wish he'd write songs like this instead.
The one word I would use is fun. Like, I've been in other bands where maybe the guitarist isn't totally on your wavelength, or the singer isn't, or whoever, something's not quite right, and there's a lot of toing and froing, and I think it should be this, I think it should be that, and there's a lot of that, and it can go on and on and on, and it's so unproductive because you almost just lock heads, and you've got a vision for a song, and they've got a vision in the song, and the two different songs at that point, and somebody somewhere has got to give, and I just when you don't have to necessarily give in, or certainly not all of the time, because you're kind of on the same page, it's more fun because as the other person gets excited about your idea, so be like, oh, just a little stop here, and yeah, that sounds amazing, or oh, I love that chord you just played, that's dead good. And I think Luke fits really well into that as well. At the minute, like musically, the stuff we're writing, I'm really happy with. I couldn't be more proud of it, to be fair. And again, sounds cheesy, but I think I've strived for 15 years to get the sound that we've got now, and it's easily, like, it's all coming together so easy now.
It's a long road to get to where you want to be musically, and for me, in the 90s, I haven't mentioned the 90s yet.
Not
Liam.
for a while. Not for a long time.
Wow, since last week.
I just about remember the 90s.
In fact, I think I mentioned it on Tuesday on the radio.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. So the 90s, anyway.
Oh, God.
I love being in my band Orchard in the 90s, but I was never playing the music. I was never playing the music that I wanted to be playing. It was the middle of the indie Britpop phenomenon. And don't get me wrong, I loved Oasis and some of the other stuff, but I was massively into West Coast pop punk, Green Day and Offspring and the bands that were coming through in the early 90s, mid 90s. That's the music I wanted to play, but it was nothing over here. You play that music and you'd have been playing in front of no one.
It was all Spice Girls photo cards.
Yeah.
Spice Girls. We were talking about Spice Girls on Tuesday.
We were on Tuesday. Closet
hell.
Spice Girls fan here.
Unaware of that. So
We've just gone full circle. This is weird.
So
round in circles.
yeah,
Hey.
round in circles. Good plug, guys. Good plug. So we've been doing round in circles for 2008, I think it was. It's a good 13 years now. We've also started a side project
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
Just me and Gaz.
Oh, nice.
During lockdown, basically. So we've been doing a lot of remote recording, obviously, because we can't meet up because we'll kill each other.
Obviously.
So we
That's got nothing to do with COVID.
no, just kill each other, generally.
Basically.
So we're actually going to play a song from the upcoming. We've done an entire album. We haven't quite finished it yet, but we have got a couple of finished songs. We're going to play one of them shortly. Not just yet. Got a bit more talking time yet.
Yeah, of course.
But we are going to showcase a song nobody's ever heard it. Literally, only me and Gaz. That's it.
What's your band called?
Oh, and my little boy's heard it because he does the backing vocals in it.
The wife probably whilst at home doing stuff on the tracks.
Storms and Sunrises.
Oh, very nice.
We're called, Liam.
Very nice.
That's copyrighted now because nobody knew that prior. So that's now copyrighted. Yeah.
Copywritten Storms and
Patent
Sunrises.
pending.
That's us.
It's just like my ideas for JTF.
So it's
That went out the window, did it?
so it's kept us going. It's kept us going musically over the last 14 months as it is now because it's been extraordinarily tough. We haven't been able to get together. We haven't been able to practice. Only through the wonders of modern technology have we really been able to record.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been able to do some remote recording using different bits and bobs, different bits of software. So that's kept us going. I personally think it's great. I like the. We've gone for a slightly different vibe. Normally, we play straight up pop punk.
It's got an electronic air to it,
Yeah,
hasn't
there's
it?
a little bit more to it.
interesting.
We've tried to keep the pop sensibilities, so it's catchy.
Having listened to
Synthy.
like some of your music, I wouldn't have really pictured you doing that kind of music, but it sounds interesting.
We'll play it to you shortly.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
sounds
can,
good.
And you can tell us what you think.
This will
I
be a
think
first for me.
For me, if Round in Circles was Ying, Storms and Sunrises is Yang. It's like
I like
that.
that, Gaz. I
Yeah,
like that. I'm
it's
going to
like-
put that in the cliff notes.
Yeah. It's kind of like the other side of the music I've always wanted to play, but we haven't because it's been a bit synthy, or we come from obviously quite a small town, and yeah, there's some fantastic musicians around here, but not everybody shares the same sort of musical interests you do. So it's sometimes difficult to get other members in that play the instruments you want to put in a song.
Members.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say it. As soon as Gad said it, then I thought, oh,
We're
God.
a band of members.
Good old members. So we'll have a little listen now, guys. Let's check it out. So it's Storms and Sunrises, and the track is called Resist.
Is this a world exclusive?
Worldwide, especially in Uganda. Right,
We're big in Uganda.
Where we're the number 2 listened to podcast in
Yeah.
Uganda.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
that is true.
It's
Yeah,
actually
that is
true, guys. Number 7 in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
bit
bad.
more competition, maybe.
Just
I don't know.
just
how it
bigging
works.
ourselves up a bit there.
I know, a
you
little bit.
Well
So-
done, Liam.
So if anyone wants to sponsor us, by all means.
Yeah.
Looking for sponsors for season 2.
Season 2 coming your way. This is us, Storms and Sunrises, and this song is called Resist. Let's check it out.
I know better. I know more than you. Moral high ground, owned by just a few. I know nothing. Orwellian state, threats of violence, lies to propagate. I know all things. Logic sorely missed. Forced opinions. National socialist. I know my rights. Preach equality. Every human must agree with me. I've run out of patience. My temper snapped this time. Filled with anger. It's all a waste of time. Here's my statement. We're all just slaves and die. No lives matter. Resist, open your eyes. I'm no different. Respect all abuse. Question sources. Always faking news. I'm no genius. Fuck society. Every person must agree with me. I've run out of patience. My temper snapped this time. Filled with anger. It's all a waste of time. Here's my statement. We're all just slaves and die. No lives matter. Resist, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Resist, open your eyes. Time to go to to war over nothing. Time to force us all to pick a side. I've run out of patience. My temper's snapped this time, filled with anger. It's all a waste of time. Here's my statement: we're all just slaves and die. No lives matter. Resist, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Resist, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Resist, open your eyes.
That was us, Storms and Sunrises, here on the Anger Management Podcast with me, Andy Stevenson.
Me, Liam Simcox.
And me, Gaz Ryder.
Yeah,
Yes.
smooth.
We've done this before.
That was the song "Resist" from our upcoming album.
World exclusive.
World exclusive, yes. So very much about current affairs.
It gave me that vibe. Like last 15 to 16 months or so. Definitely tying in with world events and what's gone off in the world.
Very much so.
Loved it.
Resist.
You've set the bar high. I'm not going to lie, guys. Like, you two have set the bar high so far.
Thanks, mate.
I'll
Thanks, mate.
take that. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It's an interesting concept, like we were saying before we had a quick break. We've gone for a slightly different sound, a little bit more, I suppose, political, really, regarding the lyrics and how the songs come across.
I think you're right. Well, it's obviously political, but I think it's done in kind of a way like fairly middle ground, really, that it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, the lyrics still apply.
Yeah.
Like, a lot has happened over the past 12 months politically, which, I don't want to get into ins and outs of everything now, but it's been very divisive, even before COVID, before everything that's happened in terms of protests and social matters over the past 12 months. It's been divided for a long time, I think, especially in the UK politically. And I just think that, it just kind of says it doesn't matter. We're all largely in the same boat together.
And that's exactly what the song's about. It comes from a place for me where I feel absolutely sick of the bullshit that's going on, that we're fed every day. Everything seems to be done to cause division with people. You've got to take a stand on this side or that side, or you've got to be black, or you've got to be white, or you've got to be Christian or Muslim or whatever it may be. And we seem to have completely lost
sight of the fact that we're just human
we're just
beings.
people.
We're just
Just
people.
people,
We're
guys.
all people
That's
just
it.
trying to get on in life, aren't we?
And I'm sick of it. And I feel that media, I feel that certain groups are constantly trying to pull the wool over our eyes and keep us divided. Hence the main lyric, which is "Resist, open your eyes."
Yeah.
And that's what I feel we need, no matter what your political leanings may be, or your religion, or your sexuality, or whatever. Open our eyes and realise we're being set up. We're being set up to be divided.
Being put against each other, aren't you?
On both sides again,
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's got an agenda, I think, and everybody tries to push their own agenda, no matter how much you try not to. And I think I've always been sort of the type of person, type of mindset that I'm just very much in the middle of it all, thinking, let's just get on.
Yeah.
Try and get on with life. Keep your head down. Keep in your own lane. Push forward.
And stop being offended.
Yeah,
That's the big one. Just stop being offended. If you just stop it right now. Stop being offended. A lot of your problems will go away. Gaz, I wanted to talk about one of my favourite things in life.
Ranting.
No, well, that is one of my favourite things in life.
Star Wars.
But no, well, that's another one, yeah.
The 90s?
The 90s. No, it's
fart jokes.
Fart jokes. Members.
Go on, Andy. Sorry.
I like the things that members go into. Not members particularly. It's great customers.
Oh.
Me and Gaz, as we touched upon earlier, we ran a music shop up in the city, and we had some of the funniest experiences.
Ran is probably
we were
over the
there.
top.
We were there 5 or 6 days a week.
We turned up.
Turned
You
up.
practically
Sold
ran
some
it.
things.
And some of the escapades working at that shop, and some of the customers were some of the greatest times I've ever had. I still think of them now. When I need to cheer myself up, I'll think about a certain thing
Fondly.
and
Some not so fondly.
some not so fondly. The one that is still talked about. Well, it was. The shop actually closed down. Was it like 2 years ago now? I think it was. Basically, all of our friends have worked there at some point. So we all still used to go up, even though we hadn't worked there for like 13, 14 years. We'd go up and just hang about, chat and play instruments. And
Sounds good.
it was great. So the one that was still talked about up there was the old Grinch story, which was me, basically ruining a little kid's Christmas.
No.
Yeah, a little 5-year-old kid's
You've got
completely
to tell
ruined
us
it.
this story now, Andy.
Completely ruined it for him. He didn't believe in Santa anymore after that, and I totally smegged it up for him.
You didn't tell this kid that Santa doesn't
mate,
exist,
full
did you?
ball, full
You
ball.
didn't need to, mate.
No, let me just say in my defence first, I didn't do any of this on purpose, right? It wasn't like I got up 2 days before Christmas and went around and ruined Christmas for some kids today, right? That's not how it went down, okay? So,
You said that, but
about 2 weeks before Christmas,
yeah.
we had a customer in, and this customer wanted to buy a starter drum kit, didn't she, Gaz?
Yep.
Right? Gaz was with me. And we were selling these kits. They're called CB kits or something. I don't even know if they're still doing it. Like 200 quid or whatever it was. And you got everything with a stool and a
249.99.
kick drum. There you go. 24999. Thanks, Gaz.
Sounds all right.
Still selling them, you.
Every Christmas.
Yeah, there you
50
go.
of the things.
So, we didn't have the one in that she wanted. She wanted a certain size and a certain colour, and we'll say it's a fusion size kit, and she wanted a red one, and we didn't have any in, right? And we were obviously selling a lot of these kits at that time of year. So we'd place an order every few days, and they'd come in the next week. But anyway, the next week rolls around. We've had a great big delivery, got all these kits in. Last minute, just before Christmas, for all the people that are still waiting for them. So me and Gaz, we do the call, we get on the phones, and we've got, 50-odd customers waiting for these kits. We do the rounds, ring everybody up. People are coming in, picking them up, taking them away. Anyway, I make this one phone call, and I'm like, hello, is Sharon there?
Oh, she's here. Look.
She's here. Is Sharon Smith there?
Karen.
I knew she'd crop up at some point.
How long's that been? 25 minutes?
Old Sharon. Is Sharon there? And this young lad had answered the phone. He says, oh, no, she's not. She's. I think he said she's asleep. I was like, oh, all right. Well, is your dad there? And he says, no, he's not. He said, and the little kid says, I'll take a message. That dead polite little kid. I was like, oh, no,
So he knew he was a little kid.
Yeah, but it didn't occur to me. So I said, can you just tell your mum that the drum kit that she's ordered for Christmas has arrived and she can come up to the shop and collect it whenever she's ready?
And the penny drops.
No, I didn't drop that, and I
shit.
never thought anything about it. I put the phone down, rang all the other customers. Anyway, an hour later, shop doors bang open, don't they, guys?
Dropped for the kid.
Like the glasses nearly come out the doors, and this woman is on the fucking warpath, Liam. Proper.
Oh my God.
She comes in, she's got a browbeaten husband behind her, like on a ball and chain, right? and she comes in and what have you done? What kind of place is this? What have you done to my son? And I'm
What
thinking
the
like hit him with my car or something. And I think it was Gaz says, sorry, can you just calm down and just explain what the problem is? And she says, he's ruined Christmas. Points at me.
What the fuck?
And
I
I'm
was like, why have you invited him round for dinner?
And I'm like, honestly, I've done like crapped on your carpet or something. And I looked round at her and I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I was like,
The
I
one
was like-
time in his life he was
I was like-
speechless.
About to say.
and I think I ended up coming out with, who are you? And she says, I'm Sharon Smith, or whatever her name was. We'll call her Sharon as
I
usual.
seriously hope she's listening to
And
this.
she says-
She won't be, but I hope she is.
And she says, you've told my little boy that he's having a drum kit for Christmas. And the little kid's standing there with it, that he's having a drum kit for Christmas. And we told him it was from Santa, and now he doesn't think that Santa exists. And you've ruined Christmas. And I remember I was like, I'm not having this shit. And I was like, well, you should have got out of fucking bed and answered your phone, shouldn't you? And she's like, it's nothing to do with you whether I'm embarrassed. I said, well, don't have your 5-year-old kid answering the bastard phone. Oh, she was proper pissed once she
was like, what I don't understand around that whole situation, though, is like, as a parent, which I'm not, so I suppose slightly hypocritical, surely you would have come up with some other I mean, he's like 5 or 6. You could literally tell him anything and he'd believe it. So why wouldn't you come up with a story and say like
Santa's had to order it in from the shop because his elves are busy.
His sleigh's broke.
That's where they make them. You know, Santa's had to. He's so busy this year with drum kits that he's had to get somebody else to make them, and it's ready now, and that'll get shipped off to Santa. You'd say
She just wanted a ruckus.
But that's
what she wanted. Discount.
There you go. She wanted free symbols. We had to give her free symbols. Remember?
Free stuff.
Free shit
Free
she wanted.
You didn't give her, did you?
And we had to, mate. We had to, because she was like, I thought she was going to burn the place down. The funniest thing about the whole thing, she's standing at the cash desk, frothing at the mouth, right? And after a few minutes, it got to the point where it wasn't horrible anymore. It was hilarious because she had spittle coming out of her mouth, and she was shouting and screaming. And all the way through it, her husband stood behind her, about 5 paces behind her, pissing himself. Absolutely pissing himself.
No.
He got his jumper up over his face like this, trying not to die. And a couple of times she'd turn around and she'd go, "What are you laughing at, David?" And he'd be like,
and the thing is,
nothing,
if she
Sharon, nothing. And she'd turn back round, but me and Gaz look at him over her shoulder while she's bollocking us, and we can see him over her shoulder just going...
Just pissing himself.
If she is listening to this, he's not doing that now.
No.
He's slipping on the floor. Which I think this brings me nicely to my point, and I think it's shared a lot by people who have worked in sort of hospitality and like customer service.
Retail.
Like, seriously, unless you've worked in retail, you will never ever understand how rude and idiotic some people can be, especially when they're angry.
And especially towards Christmas.
And if
festive spirit.
If you have worked in retail, I think it changes the way that you deal with how you complain about something. And let's be fair, no one ever complains to just make the process better and for somebody else not have to go through that. No one ever complains to go, well, I don't want anything out of this other than for you to address the situation.
Want you to be aware of it.
Yeah, basically.
So it doesn't happen again. No one ever says that. Nowadays, people are just thinking, I want the compensation. What can I get out of this? And it's...
I want some vouchers.
Yeah. And no one ever just says, well, Luke, yeah, I've it's been crap for me and I just don't want anyone else to go through it. And I think if people had worked in retail or like serving in a restaurant or something like that, you'd understand just how self-entitled people can be.
People, it's not just customers. We were very lucky at the shop because we had great bosses. I was actually the manager, and Gaz ended up being the assistant manager, didn't you?
By default, I think.
Default,
yeah, there was no one else around.
That was it. But there was a lot of us there. There was 2 shops in one, you see. So the other big music shop had like 10 guys working. It was me and Gaz. But we were lucky. Our bosses, Martin and Kev, I'm sure they won't mind us mentioning the names. Martin and Kev still owned the shop in Derby.
Oh, nice.
Where we actually filmed a
music video
for
Brand New Day.
For Rounded Circles. So Martin and Kev, great guys. If they're listening, shout out to you guys. So we were very fortunate, but when you work in anything to do with hospitality or retail, you can have some absolute bastards as bosses. I used to work at a restaurant when I was 14, so 94, 93, 94.
Did it have any middle managers in, or?
No, it was grim, right? I'm not gonna mention names. Not gonna mention where it was.
You will do.
No, I'm not. It's not the Sugar Mill.
I'm gonna say we're Sugar Milling it up.
Sugar Milling it up again.
I remember actually when they used to sell burgers in the Sugar Mill.
Yeah, they did as well. Microwave burger. Yeah, bloody hell,
technically a restaurant.
Wow,
now.
ages ago.
Oh my God.
So me and my stepbrother used to work at this restaurant, and they treated us like absolute shit. I always remember you used to get £2.70 an hour. £2.70.
Wow.
£2.70. And the worst thing about it was that it was me and my brother waiting, me and my stepbrother waiting on, and 2 girls our age as well waiting on. So there's the 4 of us, and we used to make like hundreds of pounds in tips. Big posh restaurants, you know, like wear your suit and everything, proper slick. And they used to keep all the tips.
No.
Yeah, every penny, every single penny.
What, for all work that you've done, they kept the tips?
You got to remember, this is a place where it's like around a toast 50 quid, right?
Shit the bed.
In a great bit, like a premises that you wouldn't believe. It's like a stately home, right? This wasn't a like scummy, horrible takeaway. This was a proper slick place.
He's going to say it, isn't he, man?
I know.
I won't.
He's trying not to.
I'm waiting in anticipation. I'm going, where is this place?
I'm watching him and he's like,
there's not many places like that around here. He's going to say it.
So, Christmas time, I remember we put 1,500 odd quid in the kitty for tips, and I think it was the night before Christmas Eve, and we'd made all this money working a tats off, like the 4 of us, and kept it all Christmas, all Christmas tips.
oh my God.
Right.
They drive nice cars and have big houses and shit like that.
Did we?
No,
them.
the
Yeah,
guys,
they all drove black BMWs with tinted windows.
Oh, you know what they're doing then, don't you?
But we used to. I remember having a couple in. This is why anyone that's listening who eats out frequently. This is why, even if there's a problem, you should always treat your waiters and waitresses with respect, right?
And don't gutter.
Don't be bastards.
What you call
Don't be bastards, because you will get mugged off and you might not know about it. And this is why. So we had a couple came in once, and soon as they come through the door, up their own arses, big time, big time. Turned up in a Range Rover with a personalised number plate.
Oh, for fuck's
Don't have to tell you.
Was it powered by fairy dust?
Come in, and I always
Oh,
remember the bloke taking his jacket off, and he turned to me and my brother, and he went, "There you go."
What? That's what they did.
There
They
you
just
go.
put their arm
There you
out
go,
and
with,
went,
with
"Here
his
you
jacket.
go."
I went, "There you go."
No.
And I went, "Yes, sir. What? It's a jacket. Yes.
I can see that.
Hang it up." And I'm like, imagine me at 14. I'm like, "Nah, mate, don't do that. That's not
my job.
Don't hang your coat up for you, mate. No." "Well, you'd better start, haven't you?"
Oh,
Proper, full on, mate, full on. Anyway,
gloves
so
off.
we have to deal with this bullshit. So we bring the menus round. They're going through the menus. We go take the order, and they decided they wanted whatever. It was some kind of salad, like a fancy salad. We'll call it an awesome salad, right? So that's what they had for the starter. They had 2 awesome salads. So part of our job, we had to make we made the starters as well. Me and my bro did. And so we did the salad, took it out. 30 seconds later, oi,
Boy.
oi, here now, right? To me, like
Like
with
a
dogs,
dog.
like with
Yeah.
proper dogs. Here now. Me and my brother walked over, and he says, "What on earth do we call this? What do we call this?" And I was like, "It's an awesome salad, sir. It's what you've ordered."
Awesome.
And he says, "I don't think this is arranged properly on my plate, is it?"
Oh my fucking
And
God.
I went, "What do you mean?" And he went, "Those tomatoes are not in the correct place at
Oh,
all."
What the fuck?
What on earth is this establishment doing? What did he say? Something along the lines of employing reprobates like you two.
No.
Something like that. So I was like,
I'd have rearranged the salad.
I was
all right.
like, right,
I'd have gone back.
better, right? So I was like, "Okay, sir, we'll sort that problem out for you." So we went in the back, sneaked out the back with these plates of salad,
Right.
went to staff box, it's on a big lettuce leaf, like a bed, one big leaf.
Right.
I got the lettuce leaf out, big lettuce leaf.
I'm gonna chunder in a minute. I know it.
Wiped it round the inside of the shitter bowl, right? Bits of turd and a few stray pubs on it, right?
Oh.
Wiped it round, proper got it under the rim in the pea water, proper got it under that.
Oh, this is grim.
Back on his plate, rearranged it how he wanted it with his tomatoes in the right place.
Don't tell me
Took
what
it
you're going
back,
to tell me.
give it back. Is that okay for you, sir? Seems to be better. And we stood there, watched him and his missus eat every last morsel of our shit and pubes.
Was it a members-only restaurant?
Oh, mate. And to this day, that's why I'm never rude to anyone in a restaurant. I'll always be like, mate, can you just got a little bit of a problem? Don't worry about it, like, but could you just sort this out? What I don't do is treat them like a twat.
Yeah.
Because I don't want pube lettuce.
On your plate.
Simple as that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a true story?
True story, mate. True story.
Fucking hell.
All round the inside of that bowl, mate.
Look, I know
There's
you've
some proper grimness.
You've told some stories on this podcast, but that has to be up there.
Grim one, isn't
That
it?
is fucking... Who are these people?
I got another one regarding bosses. Again, I won't mention the company. I'll try not to anyway.
I know.
It's not the
He's
sugar
doing
mill.
well.
For anyone who's not watching the YouTube
I
video,
got a job
he's on edge of his seat.
as an assistant manager at a clothing store, right? I know
is it a big
nothing,
clothing store?
Nothing about clothing. No, just like a boutique one.
In fairness, I think you can mention that because they're long gone now.
I don't know if they are.
I think they are.
I don't think... I'm not going to say it anyway. Stop trying to badger me into it, Gaz. I know what your game is. So, anyway, I'd got this assistant manager's position, and it was to be trained up to be the manager, right? And honestly, I don't know how I managed to blag my way into it. I know not... I mean, look at me. I've got a farmer's coat on. I know nothing about fashion at all. So I blagged my way into this job.
Still wears Thundercats t-shirts.
Yeah, I do. A Rick and Morty t-shirt.
Yeah.
So they'd sent this guy from like this bigger store to train me up, right?
Okay.
I remember his name. It was. No, I'm not going to say his name.
Oh.
We'll call him Dave.
Nearly.
Surname was Burton.
We'll call him Dave, right? It wasn't Burton.
It wasn't.
It
no.
was. So
That's
what,
the only one that
Burton.
fit, though. To be fair.
So they sent him down, and within, sometimes this brings us on to a topic that I know Gaz wants to talk about.
Your next topic.
Smarmy bastards, right? Smarmy, weird, fucking... You know the kind of bloke who's like... He's so smarmy, he's like wet all the time. You know, he's like...
Oh, yeah.
He's just like
out of
wet,
ocean.
like his entire body's made out of gel. Just them kind of blokes.
Dipped
Anyway,
a bit fryer.
They sent him down, and instantly I was like, can't stand this bloke, and obviously couldn't stand me either, right? So I remember the first morning we're there, and we got a staff of about 10 people, and we got 2 or 3 young girls who were working part-time, like 16, 17, whatever they were.
Yeah.
And there was this one young girl, I think she was only 17, and she'd had a baby, right? Young age.
At 16 and 17?
At 16, 17.
All right,
but
okay.
come back to... She baby was like 9 months, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And she'd got a part-time job. All credit to her, you know
Yeah,
what I
fair
mean?
play,
And
yeah.
she was lovely. I can't remember what her name was, but she was lovely. Dead nice girl.
Sharon.
Yeah, we'll call her Sharon. No, she wasn't, because she was nice. So we'll call her Sally.
Okay,
Let's call
fair
her
enough.
Sally.
Okay.
So anyway, Sally had come back to work, and she'd done a few weeks, and I'd had a few ruckuses with this manager already. He'd done weird things like he'd got all the staff round and said to all the girls, right, all the shop floor girls, right, there's an award, an incentive for whoever puts the most in the till today.
Okay.
And the girls had gone, oh, what's the incentive? And he'd gone, a date with me on Saturday.
No.
Yeah, not
Oh,
joking.
my
Not joking.
God.
True.
Not like 50
And
quid or something.
And me, the most politically incorrect bloke in the world, I'm having to go, dude, you can't. That's just grim. You
Yeah.
can't do that. It's just minging.
I'd have been cringing.
It
so
was, mate. It was
hard.
horrible. And he'd do loads of stuff like that you probably wouldn't get away with now, sort of 12, 13
That's
years
fucking
later.
bad.
Loads
How old were he?
He'd have been about 30. I'd have been 25,
Trying
maybe.
to chat up 16-year-olds, that's a bit...
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It
Nonsense.
was weird, mate. Loads of little taps on the arse and little offhanded cut. He was just horrible. He was wet all the time, mate. He was wet. Fucking disgusting. And so anyway, I'd had a few run-ins with him about things where I'd gone, mate, you need fucking shut up. You can't say that. That's bollocks. Basically in defence of the girls, because they couldn't really stand up to him, and I was the only other bloke in the store. So it was sort of, when I'd hear stuff, I'd be like, nah, I can't. You know what I'm like? When I feel something's unjust, I can't keep my gob shut.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is how I lost my job, and I'll tell you right now. So it's 10 to 9 in the morning. We're in the office. The phone goes, and it's this young girl. It's this Sally, right, the young kid, and she says, Andy, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be 10, 15, 20 minutes late. I've had to take the little one to the doctors. He's not very well. I've found childcare for him, but I'm going to be 10, 15. And me being me, I was like, yeah, don't worry about it, Sal. Like
They'll be fine,
literally couldn't give a shit. There won't be anybody here till 10 o'clock anyway. Couldn't care less. Put the phone down, and fucking Dave, he says, what was that? I was like, and I said, Sally, she's just running a few minutes late. Little's not very well. And he says, we'll see about that, won't we? Gets on the phone, and I leave him to it. I was busy doing something. He rings, no answer. I was like, just leave it, man. Just leave it. She's only, I'll do whatever you needed her to do. Don't worry about it. Anyway, 15 minutes later, he's dressing a mannequin in the shop door, right?
Right.
In the shop window, the front window. And she comes in, maybe 15 minutes late.
Yeah,
right?
fair enough. Give or take.
And he's on her straight away. And I just like edge closer and edge closer, and I can hear him giving her an absolute round of fucks, right? But in that weird way that smarmy, weird bastards have got, where he's almost like saying, what you should do is like, go out with me. I'll sort you out. I'll look after you. I'm the kind of bloke you need. This wouldn't be happening if you'd come out with me, kind of thing. And she said something to her. Can't remember what it was. And I remember and by this time I'd got right behind him, and he didn't know I was there. And she was in tears. Girl was crying, proper crying her eyes out, mate. Right?
I'd have lost
so
it.
I'm already like, it's going to happen. This is going to happen. And as I got right next to him, and guys, you know me, I fucking can't fight for shit. I'm not a tough guy at all, right? In the slightest bit, but I talk a good game, right?
Did you notice?
Did you notice?
Yeah, I've noticed.
So
it's been 15 months, Steve.
He's very
I've
good
noticed.
at talking.
Yeah.
So I get right behind him, and he says to her, and I remember it exactly. He says, you need to get your fucking priorities sorted. You do, you slag. Something along those lines. She started tearing, like proper welling up, and he said something along the lines of, "This wouldn't be happening if you hadn't opened your legs for some scumbag, right?" But like it's got anything to do with me, and that was it. Red miss, mate. And I grabbed him, and I slapped him straight up against the
irony of calling somebody else a scumbag.
Yeah.
That is.
I slapped him straight up against it. I nearly put him through that. Thought the window was going through, the window rattled like that. And I had him like that, and he shit himself, as bullies do. And I was like, I probably couldn't even take him. I'm not fucking tough. But the red mist had descended.
So
then.
you're like, I'm going to fucking kill you, basically.
And I slapped him up. I said, what the fuck did you just fucking say? And he shat his, I'll do, put me down, I'm sorry. And I said, I ever hear you say one word to her again, I'm going to put you through the fucking window, right? And I fucking threw him on the floor like a little fucking tart curled up on the floor. He scurries off to his office. Sally gets home. She's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I didn't know what." I was like, "Don't worry about it. Just crack on and try to forget about it." Hour and a half later, HR turn up from head office. Right, I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen him, mate. He'd locked himself in his office.
Right, okay.
Right? I hadn't seen HR turn up. Andy, yeah, you're gonna have to come and speak to us. I'm like, for what? And they were like, well, we think you know. I was like, is it because of the sexual and physical abuse and emotional abuse that Dave's just been giving to Sally? Well, we know that is that you've threatened him. I said, well, I haven't threatened him. I said, I'd nearly put him through that fucking window is what I've done. Oh, well, we can't have a conflict like that. And you know, they weren't even interested in my side of the story or Sally's side of the story. Do you know he never came out of his office? I never even got to...
Did you have security cameras?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you couldn't tell what was being said on a security camera. That's the point.
Yeah.
To them, it would have just looked like he was dressing a mannequin, talking to an employee, and I slapped him up against the window.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, he never even came out of his office. Never even... I couldn't even... Because, of course, if he had, I'd have said, I'll fucking get you.
Yeah.
But no, mate. Never even came
So
out of
did
his
he
office.
call HR then?
Yeah. He
What a
locked himself in. He
fucking-
locked himself in his office, called HR, had me sacked because he was being abusive. I mean, how full balls are?
That is honestly.
But that brought me on to something that Gaz was on about earlier, about slime balls.
Just, I mean, self-entitled people in general, really, but certainly people who think so highly of themselves. And in that kind of setting, and in like a retail kind of setting, I think it tends to be, and I hate to like stereotype a group of people, but salesmen.
Yeah.
And I have a perfect example. It's almost identical to Andy's, really, only I wasn't involved in any way. But my wife, and I'm going to leave every name out of it under the sun because I, again, don't want any drama, but she used to work for a company that was sales orientated, and it was a perfect example. A Sunday, shop shut at say 4:00 in the afternoon. At the time, went to go and pick her up from work, and I'm waiting outside as you do at 4:00, and it was honestly this horrible, smarmy, up himself, sleazy manager.
Yeah.
To just try and be polite about it, I suppose. Had said to all of the staff, including my wife, nobody's leaving here until you've rung around and you've got 10 appointments to come into the store tomorrow to upgrade their contract, for argument's sake.
Right, okay.
And to me, I haven't had anybody do that to me since I was at school. It's almost like detention, right? You've not sold anything today.
Yeah, so now you've got to face...
We're not paying you. This isn't overtime. No payment. Just you're staying until you've got however many appointments tomorrow. And it just, that absolutely blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. When she told me, I was furious. And a couple of weeks later, there was another incident where he'd grabbed her by like sort of the cheeks like that. And
Wow.
just, mate, you know me, I'm not a fighter at all.
No,
I'm
no.
quite actually
He's a lover.
quite chill. Well, I'd say he's quite chilled out. I get angry and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like I'd
Yeah, of
never
course.
like lose it to the point of like wanting to go and like
Smash
be
someone's head
violent
in.
to somebody.
Yeah.
That was the closest I have ever come. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Guys, we're going to have another song.
Ooh,
That was
sounds
an
good.
extended segment, that was. We were getting into it there.
I was proper like enjoying that then. I was sat listening to
Liam
it.
was listening with bated breath.
I was.
my two best stories have gone. That's
Oh, that was ace.
That was good.
another podcast.
Good work. We've got plenty of time left, yeah.
Yes.
I was sent this song by Tobisonics.
Ooh.
This is a little bit different. This is a little bit of electronic music, this is, guys. And he did this song. Let me get it right. 1 second.
We'll just stall for time while Andy's looking.
He did this song with the wee Scots poet, who's a spoken word poet.
Oh, okay.
And it's different.
Oh.
I like it.
Oh,
I've had
okay,
a listen.
okay,
I
okay.
like it. It's very niche,
But it's different.
but it's
yeah.
really good.
Okay.
You can check out Tobisonics on all the usual places, Liam.
Oh, yes. On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And you can listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music, basically wherever you get your music from.
This song's called All the Little Things. Tobisonics and wee Scots poet. Let's check it out, boys.
Sounds good.
The wee things, all those little things. You and me, we can be a toucan. Rainbows at the end of your nose. Time blows bubbles, emerge from rubble. Haldon collide with me, let's gaze through Hubble. The wee things, all those little things. Those wee things, all those little things. See it all, glorious microscopic. Mandala seahorses, so kaleidoscopic. Like sunshine's kisses, she makes it better. It's midnight. Slide into that slipper, Barbarella. The wee things. All those little things. Those wee things. All those little things. Little things, those wee things, all those little things. The wee things, all those little things.
That was Tobisonics and the wee Scots poet.
That was different.
Here on the Anger Management Podcast with the track, All the Little Things. I thought that was ace. I got to be honest.
That was
It
very
was like
different.
Daft Punk. It was like Daft Punk.
Yeah, it was like craft work as well.
very,
Like,
very different
mixed.
to anything we've featured so far in the
Definitely.
preceding 6 episodes.
It
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of that Baz Luhrmann song. Everybody's free to wear
Yeah,
sunscreen.
yeah.
Completely different vibe, but like along the same kind of tracks.
I thought that was great. I enjoyed that. It was nice to have a bit of a change of pace.
It would be very different if it featured the Trent Vale poet.
The
Have you ever
He is
seen the
good,
Trent Vale
I like
poet?
the Trent Vale poet, mate.
Oh, I think I went to an open mic night once at a little pub in Stoke called the Glebe, and he was on, and I'm sure he was hammered, and he gives it everything. He's a really good performer, but he had a lady friend with him who was absolutely smashed, just wandering around the Glebe. Just manages to like latch onto the table I was sat at with a couple of friends there, and she was just insulting everybody.
Oh my
Like,
God.
turned to her mate and was like, "You look like David Cameron." This is funny.
I love drunk Sharons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was so full on, and I remember getting home that night and thinking, I can't find my wallet. And I was absolutely adamant that it was all an act and she'd nicked it. She hadn't at all. I was just an idiot and forgot where I'd put my wallet. But you know when you're like, no way, was that like a proper scam? Like, has anyone else lost their wallet?
Yeah.
But no,
She's walking out like 5 or 6 wallets, like just going through them all.
But yeah, I like that track. It's a
Yeah,
good-
it's
good- good
different.
track.
Very different.
Fantastic. That was Tobisonics and the wee Scots poet with All the Little Things. Check them out in all the usual places.
Yes, you can find them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Spotify, wherever you get your music from. And yes,
The podcast shop.
I was speaking to
HMV.
on Anger Managed Pod on Twitter earlier because they were bigging us up on Twitter.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
So cheers, guys.
Love it. Love it. Send us some more stuff if you've
Yeah,
got it.
definitely.
And we'll gladly get it on.
It's very
Liam,
different. Hello.
I had my usual flurry of text messages and voice messages from
Yeah,
you this week.
Of course.
With your gripes.
Yes.
It's how we build this podcast.
Basically, make it up as we go along.
An interesting one that caught my attention from you was people over the age of 18 who are pranksters.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know anymore. Like, I'll scroll through Facebook and then it'll be like, oh, watch me prank my girlfriend. And it'll have like 18 million views.
Yeah.
And he's like,
The bloke like farting and then putting her head under the covers or something.
or
It's like,
putting-
oh, that's brilliant,
or
mate. Yeah.
putting cling film in a door frame. And it's like, you're 27, Steve. What you doing? Like, surely it's like you must have to get over a certain age and pranks just become tragic.
What?
I think.
What I can't get my head around with this though is like, not only do people watch it, like now young kids aspire to be that.
To be a prankster.
You speak to a young kid, oh, what do you want to be when you're older? And like when I was young, it was like, I want to be like a rock star or an astronaut or a doctor or a vet or something amazing. And now it's like, I want to be a YouTuber.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Great ambitions.
And like those ones I can sort of get my head around a little bit. Like it's stupid, but like, you know, the floor's lava. You have to jump in the nearest water.
Oh, yeah. Or when they're like, they're just like walking through streets, aren't they? And he's like, oh, hi, Steve, the floor's lava. And then next thing you know, he's jumping into a bin.
Being an Aussie exit.
Yeah. But it's, and I'm just like, what?
Get in the sea, mate.
Get in the sea.
Get in the sea.
Yeah.
Like, I agree, they were all horrific, but those aren't the worst ones. The worst ones for me is when you don't see the video instantly and you see the news article first, and it's like, man expander foams his head into a microwave, and then the fire brigade get called out to cut this guy out of a microwave.
What?
And he's internet famous. And honestly, that really bugs me. I think we're really fortunate in this country that the NHS is free. It costs you basically nothing unless it's like prescriptions, and even then it's pennies really in comparison to other nations. Yet, like, people like that get free medical care and free service from the fire brigade to get them out.
Yeah,
No,
you
charge
should
them.
have to pay for that, really, shouldn't you?
That is mad.
You've done that to yourself, mate. So we're going to have to charge $9.99 per square inch.
Yeah, and they come out shocked when their head's finally out of the microwave, like a beetroot. They're like, "Oh, I didn't expect that." What did you expect to happen?
Yeah, fucking idiot.
You've put your head in a microwave and filled it with expanding foam.
It's like they've got a swimming pool in back garden and they've just filled it full of this like jelly, trying to turn it into jelly or whatever. And it just becomes ridiculous.
It all started with Jackass, really, didn't it? Jackass, and then what was the Welsh lads? They were even better.
Oh, Dirty Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez.
There was that one guy that kept throwing up into a cup and then drinking it. That was
Some
grim
of the
as
ones I
fuck.
saw on that, the one where they rolled through the field of nettles. I mean, I've never seen anything.
fuck
Why
that.
would
Oh, my
anybody do that? Mad. Absolute mad. But yeah, I suppose it has become almost a profession, I suppose, these days.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you put on your passport? Original prankster.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
You can do it.
I don't think I'll ever fully understand that. And weirdly, I did used to watch Jackass and find that quite
I think
funny.
we all have,
And I can't really, now sitting here and looking back, I can't really differentiate between the two and what made Jackass good and these people just idiots.
So
it's like prank calls as well. I'm like, it's just, we're funny like 20 years ago.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
but
like,
that little kid one, that Tiny Tim.
Oh, no,
he is brilliant.
No, my dad.
can you blow up my school?
I'm 3, nearly 6. Fuck
He
off.
is good. No, I like him.
Oh, my dad's obsessed with him, but I can't get into it.
Do you know what, though, lads? This brings me on to another topic that I think Gaz might have mentioned in our brief, which was moments that make you feel older.
Yeah.
So are we approaching this from the fact that, I mean, I'm 40, Gaz, you're 31,
Yeah.
Liam 29, right? We're no spring chickens anymore.
Well,
Is our
Sadly.
dislike of YouTube pranksters just because we're crusty old bastards?
basically.
That's what I'm saying.
And
If
do you
we
know
were
what?
17, we'd probably find it funny.
When I sent that, I had several examples in my head as well, and then they've gone now. But it's just, it's not so much the actual thing that makes you feel old; it's how quickly it catches you off guard, and you'll suddenly just be doing something random, and you'll go "Ugh," and you have a bit of a chunter, or what's that about? And you're just like, oh my god, I'm old. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I've just commented on the fashion of somebody who's 18 and the fact that they're wearing
how crap the Brit
Yeah.
Awards are.
yeah,
And you sit there
that's
and go,
the
"Oh,
fashion at
yeah."
the Brit Awards was like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think back, because Liam Gallagher looked dead cool in '96.
And
Yeah.
I tell you,
With his bowl cut and parka jacket.
one of the ones that really got me. It's a while back now. Actually, it's when we did a band Christmas do, not last year, the year before, when we could all go out and do things. We went to ice hockey game
remember
in
that, mate.
Nottingham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was ill. I was waiting for surgery on my back, and was
you were
crippled.
in
so
agony.
I'd had to take an absolute mountain of like morphine pills. I was off me tats. I was.
Yeah.
We went Nottingham on the train, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was at a train station where this one really caught me off guard, to be fair. We were just sitting and waiting for a train, and there was two girls, and they weren't horrible, chavvy girls. They were nice enough girls. But I was just like, what the fuck have they got on their feet? And two completely different pairs of trainers, right?
Yeah.
But by the same designer, I think Balenciaga, I think you pronounce it. I don't know. I don't even know that right.
I don't
Why
even
you
know that
even
is.
looked at me then?
And
Go,
so, like one girl's shoes were almost like socks. They were so like tight and molded to a foot. They barely had a sole on. It looked like, you know, the rubber thing you'd wear on your foot if you had something dodgy when you were going swimming as a kid.
yeah.
Right? It looked like a pair of them. And
Veruca sock.
the other, yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
And the other ones were like massively oversized soles and almost looked like, you know, like how a Transformer's foot just sort of like goes out massive.
Yeah.
It was like that. And I was like, I'm going to have to just Google these now. So I Googled the make, and lo and behold, the two pairs of trainers come up. And one pair, the ninja pair, the Veruca sock, £450 for the privilege of looking like you've got some diseased foot. And the other one, £650 to look like a Transformer.
wow.
Wow.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hey, that's pretty good, that is. It didn't sound German for a start, Liam.
We'll not go there, Andy.
Have you ever heard Liam do his Winston Churchill impression?
I'm not sure I want to.
It
After that.
sounds German.
Don't. We'll not go there.
It's ridiculous.
We don't want to get any more one-star reviews, do we? Let's be fair. But one that gets me is just feeling old was I watched the video the other day, and it was like kids react to Game Boy, like the very first big chunky Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
And they were just like, how do I turn this on? Does it connect to the Wi-Fi? Can I download apps to it? And I'm just like, I'm old. Like, I'm really old now, and I just don't get it. Like,
one that got me approximately 5 years ago now, in Milan, actually, on holiday with the missus, and we decided to go to, I think it was like the Galileo or the Da Vinci Museum for Technology. I know it sounds riveting place to take your missus whilst you're on holiday.
I'd go.
Right?
Yeah, I would.
But I was like, it did look really.
I'd love it.
On the reviews and like the pictures and stuff and the videos you can see on the website, it looked really cool. And to be fair, it was dead interactive. We had a right laugh. It was really good. But as we're walking through a museum, I see an iPod Classic, the same one that was in my back pocket that I took on holiday with me to listen to music.
no.
As a museum piece.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Wow.
Shit the
you
bed.
old bastard.
Straight away on eBay, how much is this worth?
Wow. The one.
How much were it worth?
No, weirdly, not that much. There were still a few of them knocking around on eBay, but like at the time, I think the bids were up to sort of like 50 or 60 quid.
Oh, right, okay.
But like, I don't know what they were actually selling
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
I imagine a lot more now, and it still works.
Still
Wow.
works after all these
The
years.
battery lasts for about one song.
The one for me, boys, the one that it makes me feel old every single day. But you know what? I've totally made me peace with it. Totally made me peace with it.
Oh, God, go on.
I spend a significant portion of my day every day, no matter how good my day is. I'm having fun right now. Right? Always enjoy doing this podcast, right? There's a little voice in the back of my head going, not long till bedtime.
Oh, yes. That is me.
All the fucking
Yeah.
time, right? I play gigs, and I'm standing there, I'm sitting there in front of hundreds of people. Sometimes I'm doing what I love doing more than anything else, and I'm playing away. And when it's a song I know like back of my hand, you can get into it. You don't really have to think about what you're playing, and that little voice is always going, did you remember turning the electric blanket on? Oh, what setting did you put it on? Oh, I bet it's still on 3. You should have put it on fucking 8, you idiot. And then, honestly, going to bed has probably become my favourite thing in
I was
life.
just about to say, that is like my
Now,
highlight
if
of the
there's
day.
anything that makes you older than that, please tell me.
Yeah, please do get in touch. But no, that is it for me. I'm saying, like, my brother's favourite saying is it bedtime yet? So like we'll go to we'll go out for like a family meal because they're enjoyable, and he'll just like be talking, sat next to me talking to me, and we'll be having a conversation, and then he'll just go, "Is it bedtime yet?" I'm like, "No, Kieran, no, it's not bedtime yet, mate." But and he's just that is for me.
love bedtime.
I do love bedtime.
I do love
My
bedtime.
girlfriend would stay up and watch TV series all night if she could, but I have to get up for work.
It's
early
not even
hours.
that for me. I mean, I've barely been to work for 14 months.
I'll swap you.
Thanks to some bullshit that's been going on.
Things like
And yeah, I still think, if I've done nothing all day, I'm not even tired. I'm like, 7:20.
I'll go and get in bed.
Can I get away with it?
Yeah, go for a lay down. That's the dangerous
No,
one.
I don't go for a lie down.
Oh, I
Don't
do.
like a
That's
lie down.
dangerous.
Don't like a lie down.
Especially
I've
after you've
never
ate.
been a napper. I've never been a
Oh,
napper,
I do.
me.
I
love
like
a nap.
No,
I love
I'm
a
proper
nap.
kip, I do.
Yeah.
If I nap for 11 hours. That's my problem.
I could nap for 11 hours and then go to bed for 11 hours.
No,
that's
I-
that's
same.
not an issue.
I like me kipping, but I have to have a proper stint.
Best
somehow.
naps when you wake up and it's been like 3 or 4 hours and you forget what year it is. You don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is
It's-
laid next to you. And it's like,
For
what?
me, it's not necessarily specific things that I'm picking fault with here. It's just that out of nowhere you go, oh my God, I'm getting so old. That it's
Yeah.
just that feeling. And it happened to me the other day.
The fact that I
days
haven't
off
heard,
work.
I haven't heard a piece of music for 10 years that I think's any good until we started doing this podcast and
Basically.
everyone started sending us unsigned music, which is great. I haven't heard anything in the charts for 10 years that's any good. But again, I have to be open to the possibility that that's because I'm an old crusty bastard.
That I think, yeah, definitely a sign of getting older.
Yeah,
is-
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Gaz.
I'll just end it there. Yeah, definitely. No, I think you do stop relating to music that's in the charts, and I vowed when I was younger that I would never do that. My dad used to do, oh, what's that crap you listen to upstairs?
Oh, yeah, no.
Big
I
Phil.
used to-
But
Funnily
like,
Shout out, Phil.
yeah.
Funnily enough, my
But
dad's
now-
called Phil.
Now I'm getting to that point where I'm
Phils.
like,
The Phils.
I'll be listening to Radio
Drum
1.
fills.
Not quite old enough for Radio 2 yet, I don't think. But even now, something like on Radio 1, what is this? This is shit. It's utter guff. And like the prime example, the other day, I was first couple of days off work, and I genuinely thought, oh, I can't wait, cut the grass.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good
All
one.
about mowing the
Yeah,
grass.
that's a good
that
one.
grass needs cutting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get that done.
Yeah.
It'll look loads better when that's done.
Yeah.
That's one
Old.
for me.
A good one. Another one for me on that vein, Gaz, is get up, it's nice and sunny, right? And rather than going ride my motorbike, I think I'll give it a clean instead.
Oh,
Give my
fair
bike
enough.
a clean,
Yeah.
right? Not I'll go thrash my bike around at
In this
100 miles an
gorgeous
hour
sunshine.
and have an absolute laugh and scare motorists. No, what I'll do, I'll get my cloth out and a bucket and a sponge and I'll clean my motorbike. That makes me feel old. And then I look at it as well. I spend a good half an hour once it's clean, like looking at it. Yeah,
Appreciate.
it's
You don't
nice.
want to take it out
It's
then,
nice,
do you?
That does.
I think it was one that Luke mentioned last week, and we were on about radio stations and stuff like that, and it was like, oh, it's a throwback, and it'd be like a song from 2011.
That you still play.
Yeah, that's
Song
like,
from last week.
and it's like, am I old? Like, yeah, you just feel old.
I think the one that gets me frequently is, especially in like a work setting or like a friend setting, it's like if you're with I don't feel old. I still think of myself as being quite a young person, and so if I'm in a room full of people that maybe
Wait
like
till your hair falls out.
yeah. I'm
Like
doing
your
well.
dad-
My
like
dad's
dad's
bald.
bald as a coot.
He was bald by 21, I'm sure, and I'm doing well on the hair front. But yeah, if I'm in a room like with people who are say like I don't know early 20s or mid 20s,
Yeah.
I feel like I can still relate to that age.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'll come out with like we'll just be chatting away, and you'll come out with a reference to a film or a TV program, and you'll say something thinking everybody else in the room is the same age as you, and they go, nah, yeah, Friends was brilliant, wanted, and they'll just be like, what? And you're like, oh no. Not only was it not funny, I've now got to explain it, but they still probably won't
Yeah, they
find
still
it
won't
funny.
understand the
So
context
then you
at
just got this
all.
awkward and go, oh yeah, it's probably before your time. Before I've just said
Oh,
before
yeah, so,
your
yeah,
time
yeah.
to
Back
someone
in my
that's,
day.
that's 5 years younger than me. What is that about?
I mean, like, you must have obviously polar opposite, Andy, because obviously you're 40, say it with bated breath, and your wife is
27.
6, 7, yeah.
She's 27, so
Should she even know what Sooty and Sweep are?
No, not a clue. So I come out
mate.
with references all the time, and my missus will go, "What's that?" And I'll go, "It's such and such," and she'll go, "When's that from?" I'll be like, "No, 92." She says, "Yeah, 2 years before I was born." I'll be like, "What?" Kills me, makes me feel ancient.
Good year, 92.
Was that when you were born?
That
Liam?
was when I was born.
There we go.
I had to get that in there, sorry.
Anyway, on that
Back in my
note,
day.
we're going to have another song, boys. This is another track sent to me by the mighty Pete Cole,
Oh, I love Pete.
our #1 fan, Pete.
He supplied some absolute
Some
fantastic
gems,
music.
some proper gems. Pete is responsible for the Farnborough Volume 12 collection.
Yes.
He sent us this. I think it was episode 2, maybe.
I think
we
it
started
was
with
1, wasn't it?
I can't remember. It was a while back anyway.
We
Liam.
started playing him on episode 2, though. I do remember.
And we're trying to work our way through Pete's artist in alphabetical order. So today we're featuring a band called Curbwire.
And he's a regular watcher on YouTube as well.
He is.
Just cheeky
Thanks-
little plug there.
Thanks
I like
for that, pal.
It's all right.
A little bit about Curbwire that Pete sent me. Post-grunge rock from the South Coast.
Ooh.
I assume that's the South Coast of England.
Yeah,
Um,
not California.
and the quote is, like a wasp at the end of summer, driven and persistent, songs that hover and sting.
Wow.
Quite like that.
Yeah, I do like
Poetry in
I
motion.
find wasps quite annoying, so
There was a wasp in here earlier, guys. We got rid of
I'm
it for you, mate.
optimistic.
So the song is called Non-Binary, which is quite apt, really, considering the goings on and shenanigans in today's climate. Don't know what the song's like, guys. Haven't listened to it
Ooh.
yet, so it's a fresh one for me. This is Curbwire, Non-Binary. Let's check it out. the Anger Management Podcast with me, Andy Stevenson.
Me, Liam Simcox.
And me, Gaz Ryder.
That right there was Curbwire with non-binary. I got to say, loved it.
Yeah, it was
a
really
mint
good, actually.
tune.
Yeah, it was a very...
Non-binary.
reminded me
Awesome.
of Hardfi.
Meets the Foo
Yeah,
Fighters.
the Foo Fighters. It had a bit of Foo Fighters about it. I thought.
in the riffage.
Yeah. Fantastic song. My cup of tea.
With
that
a singular
song
bell
was.
Yeah.
thrown in.
Very much my kind of thing.
I do like a singular... as a drummer, just a gap in the song. Ting! Nice. See, that's why I want to band together. Proofs
on the,
in the
on the
pudding.
offbeat as well, wasn't it, Gaz, there?
Ding! Yeah. To be fair, like we were just saying, like as well over listening to that song, me being a radio presenter in a former life, I would absolutely hate it when you would get radio presenters or presenters of podcasts going, "Oh, I love that song" on every song. And I had a general rule that if I didn't genuinely like a song, I just would say that was this song
Such and such.
died this
See you
person.
later.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, like, there are some stations that I won't name that
Go on,
are the
Sugar Mill.
absolute-
Sugar Mill.
yeah, the Sugar Mill Radio.
Signal 1.
I didn't say that, but they just, I love that song. They're like so good, and I just think, no, you don't. You nobody likes every song ever, and if you do, I've got no respect for you because that's crap.
We've had some absolute
good.
stellar performances from unsigned artists on the show, and I really, really did enjoy
I
that.
like that.
That song was Non-Binary by Curbwire. You can check them out in all the usual places, Liam.
Yes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you get your music from, that is where they are.
So we had a Graham poll last week,
We
Liam.
did.
This is the bit where Liam gets his phone out.
I know it's been in between my legs all night, so...
We've also
My phone,
preemptively
sorry.
decided which poll we're going to have this week. Usually we wing it and try and come up with
we were
something at the last
flapping last
moment.
week, weren't we?
We were
didn't know what to
flapping
go
around.
for. But no, obviously, this week we've been asking the listeners on Twitter at AngerManagePod, does a YouTube advert in the middle of your video make you want to buy that product? And before I give you the answer, Gaz.
I honestly, genuinely think it depends on A, the advert, and B, the product.
Ooh. Those weren't an option on the poll. Gaz.
Well, I'm
Sorry,
throwing it in
mate.
there because even if it's a good product, if it's a crap advert, get in the bin. If it's a really good product, actually, I have brought stuff from things like
Our problem was, what we were saying is that you're listening to a song or you're in the middle of a tutorial and all of a sudden, at the
okay.
most poignant moment, it cuts off to try and sell you a box of tampons.
Yeah, so that would annoy me. Tutorial, not so bad. Song, definitely, that would annoy
Kills me.
Yeah.
We said, don't mind them at the beginning, don't mind them at the end.
Yeah.
But it just does your head in. And Luke said, it's basically because YouTube are trying to con you into $9.99
for
a
student
month.
plan. Yeah.
For the ad-free thing.
Yeah.
Which coincidentally, that's how I got signed up to Spotify.
Ah.
But before you reveal the result, I have got a worrying anecdote with regards to this.
Okay.
You know how everybody sort of goes, "Oh, Facebook listens to you, your phone listens to you,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you get targeted adverts based on things that you or your friends have said. Well, I got an abundance of adverts the other day for Facebook pages and businesses on Facebook for marriage counselling. Divorces, honestly,
dear.
marriage guidance,
Had you had a row with your
counselling,
missus?
divorces, mate. No, I haven't said anything of the sort. So what she's been saying behind my back,
Tell you, mate.
we need
That's
words.
it. Phone's been listening to it.
Weird though, eh?
I think it's grim. Reveal those results,
Yes.
Liam.
And I can reveal live on the Anger Management podcast that 80% no. It does not make people want to buy the product during a video.
Yeah,
It
I can see that.
actively stops me from buying the product.
But
when
yet
they
there's that-
interrupt me,
yeah.
I refuse to buy that product ever.
Yeah.
Put your ad on at the start till the end. That's fine.
Fair enough.
No problem.
But there's 20% that would. But then again, it'd have to be a really, really good advert or something
wa-
that you really want.
There
for
was
it to-
also someone on the radio who thought that lad from Arsenal was better than Phil Foden. There's always somebody, Liam. Remember?
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
this brings us on to we'll put the new poll out there straight away. What we wanted to discuss. We don't usually go in for this, but I've been very worried this last week. Very worried.
Okay.
I've finally started to get some work again. I'm a professional musician and studio owner, as you guys know.
Well,
I
yeah.
haven't had any work since March the 13th, 2020, right? Okay? We're now May the whatever it is,
Middle of May.
20th or whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? This is from someone I've worked all my life since I started work on the farm when I was 6, and I've worked all my life, right? Finally,
Plot twist.
I can go back to work, and I love my job. I
Yep.
love what I do.
Yep.
It defines who I am because I'm a musician. My job is me. It's not like I work in a shop or I work in Tesco, where I'm banned from, by the way.
I don't think you should ever work in retail again.
No,
to be
I
fair.
won't. I won't. But my job defines who I am because it's my passion. It's good because I love it, and it's been horrific for the last 14 months. Horrendous. Just started to take bookings in again. I've got quite a lot of stuff coming in. What's going to happen? They're already starting to force this Indian variant
Yeah.
upon us, guys. And I am massively, massively worried that in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sitting here with you guys, or not sitting here with you guys, as the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
sitting here with you on WhatsApp or FaceTime or whatever it may be, going, I can't act this anymore, lads, because I've always thought of myself as quite a mentally strong person. We've touched upon this on the radio, Liam.
Yeah, we have numerous times. Yeah.
I have been right at the edge of the cliff over the last 12 months. Well, probably the last 6 months have really done it to me. And I'm quite mentally strong, I think, right? I
Yeah.
have my times like everybody.
Yeah, of course.
I do not know if I could, I just don't know if I don't know what I would do if I have to go back to these, in my opinion, ludicrous restrictions, these draconian, totalitarian restrictions, blanket restrictions for everybody, no matter where you're from, what walk of life, how healthy you are, how young or old you are. We've all been tarred with the same brush.
I think we all have a
And-
breaking point, though, don't
And
we?
I don't. I'm as much as I'm looking forward to getting back on the road and playing and gigging and engineering and producing and all the rest of the things that I love to do, and that's my job. I'm kind of stopping myself from looking forward to it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Because I'm so worried that I'm going to wake up, put the news on, and it's going to say, "Oh yeah, you entertainment, yeah, you fuck, mate, stay in."
Yeah.
Stay in. You guys in factories, yeah, you can all still go work. You got a boring normal job that you don't want to go to. Yeah, you can go work. That's fine. You carry on, go work. And you work in entertainment, hospitality, tourism. Nah, sorry, mate. Nah, you fucked.
No.
Got to stay in for another 6 months.
Furlough, can't claim furlough because you don't have no
And
concrete wage.
And that's what is worrying me. And the poll that we wanted to put to listeners this week is very, very simple. Lockdown 4. Is it happening?
Do you think it'll happen? You can find us on Twitter at AngerManagePod and have your say. Even if you want to drop a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be announcing the results next week.
We like to feel like we offer a little bit of a service. We do this on the radio as well. Anybody that is suffering with mental health, we're big proponents of mental health.
We are.
The health part, not the mental. We don't like the mental part. I've got none of the health
I'm about
part
to say, I
left.
think-
Just the mental.
I think me and you, Andy, are mental.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
yeah. I haven't got much of the health left.
But no.
But we encourage people, if you do, you're lonely, you want to get something off your chest, feel free, get in touch with us.
Yeah.
At the places that
Yeah.
Liam has described.
Yeah.
And we'll always endeavour to respond. You've got a topic that you'd like to discuss, you can discuss. Send your music in, music of your friends. You can even come and guest on the show if you get in touch with us and you've
Yeah.
got something that you'd like to discuss. We'll gladly have you here, and you can get it out there to the general public.
Yeah. That's what I like to think this podcast offers as well, because obviously, like you say, obviously we're getting back to that bit of normality right now, and will it stay the way it will? I don't know. I can't really be sure, but obviously, like I say, I like to think this podcast offers that escapism and that puts a smile on someone's face. So if you're sat listening to this now with a smile on your face, or you've enjoyed the podcast so far, then we've done our job. Me, Gaz, and Steve have done our job, and we hope that you do enjoy it, and it does put a smile on your face, and it does put you in a bit of a happier place compared to the one that you might be in right now. So, like Steve-O says, and he couldn't have put it any better. If you are struggling, if you are worried about yourself or anything like that, feel free to get in touch with us. Send us a voice clip. Come on the show if you're local to Stoke-on-Trent or Staffordshire, or even if you want to travel, by all means, you're more than welcome to come
We
on.
will take the piss, but it's only because we love you.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
That's it.
Is that your strapline now?
That's me tag. That is, mate. That's me tag. Liam,
Yes.
I wanted to discuss something that you're a proponent of. Probably the best person I've ever known at this. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Being fucking late.
Oh. I thought that was going to lead to a nice conversation then.
No. But I know you've made a concerted effort over the last couple of weeks to not fucking be late for stuff.
I've got
right?
better since episode 3.
I've only got one thing that gets my goat more than lateness, and that's council tax. Gaz has heard me rant about council tax before.
Jesus.
Fucking council
We didn't
tax.
even mention it tonight.
Oh, God, honestly. Council tax, I don't, no. Fuck off. I don't get it.
Unless you're Max and Paddy, you don't pay it, do you?
Just pisses me off, mate. Already pay me income tax, pay tax on everything. And they just decided, yeah, you know what? We need another one.
Yeah.
Let's just have another one. What's it for, mate? See, bins get emptied. Here's one for you, right? So, when they used to empty the bins every week.
Can't you just talk about lateness?
We're getting on to lateness,
Please,
guys.
just talk about lateness.
When they emptied the bins.
God,
right,
if it's a late council tax payment, we're
you
fucked.
used to empty the bins every week, right? Every
I
single
love
week.
Gaz's faith in you.
He knows where I'm going with it.
Oh,
It'll
So-
be water rates
So they
next.
changed
Death
Oh,
tax.
shit.
death tax, water rates. Oh, guys.
Just come on.
Knows me too
While
well.
we're young.
So they changed the
15 years.
bins. They changed the bins to fortnightly collections. Remember, years and years ago, you were probably still a teenager. You probably
That's one
had
of
your-
those old moments.
probably
Liam
had your-
doesn't remember every week
Probably had
collection.
your mum and dad putting bins out back then.
Probably, yeah.
So
They
they
didn't
used to
have
be
wheels
collected-
anyway. Handles.
Yeah.
Used to have carry 'em.
They used to collect them every week, right?
Yeah.
Every single week. And then they changed it to fortnightly, right? So I thought I was perfectly within my rights to ring the council, right?
Yeah.
And say, yeah, hi there. Yeah, I'm just inquiring about the new fortnightly collections. Yes. Well, I was just wondering how much you'll be knocking off my council tax. And the woman laughed at me and went, what do you mean, sir? And I said, well, you're only doing half the amount of work.
Yeah.
So shouldn't whatever percentage of my council tax goes towards the bins, that should only now be half the amount, shouldn't it? And she went, oh no, it doesn't work like that. And I went, well, why the fuck does it not? Why would it
What
not
do you
work
mean?
like that? You're halving the amount of service that you're providing, and yet you're still charging me the same amount. And I said to her, so at that time, I own my company building big productions and stages across the country. So I said, okay, so if I was working for Beyonce and building a stage, and Beyonce come out, right?
Beyonce.
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 What
God.
did Beyonce?
Beyonce came.
Oh, God.
All
I
right.
see what I did there.
If she came out, right? She came out, and I built the left side of the stage and not the right side of the stage, just off the stage, right? When I sent my invoice off, then, right, would I be billing the production for a full stage or half the amount of work, right? And this is what I said to the woman. I said, well, I'd be billing for half the amount, wouldn't I? Because I'd only done
Half a
the
job.
amount. And she just couldn't get it through. It had never even been contemplated. It was like, no. It actually went up. The council tax went up. And I said, but it's not right, is it? Because you're only providing half the fucking service. Wouldn't have it.
Just to digress
Absolutely
slightly,
wouldn't have it.
what country was this podcast number 2 in?
Uganda.
Big problem there with council tax and waste management, mate. Yeah, huge. No wonder it's number
They love us
2.
in Uganda, mate. They love us in Uganda. But the one thing that pisses me off more, Liam, is lateness.
Oh, shit. It's come full circle, hasn't it?
Oh, God, honestly, you do my tits in with lateness.
I
You've
know,
been
but-
much better the last 2 weeks. Although on the Tuesday.
All right, okay.
We covered for somebody on the radio, somebody who was ill or whatever it was, and we covered.
I have a defence for this.
It was a bit of a last minute thing. By last minute,
It's never a defence.
I asked
only ever
Liam
an
about
excuse.
this at 1:30 in the afternoon, and we started at 7. Liam made it with about 70 seconds to spare.
Still
right?
made
On
it, though.
time, then. On
There you go.
time.
Thank-
Yeah, but he's got get his stuff off, get ready, sit down, get his computer ready, get
For a
ready.
radio
Just
show.
Honestly,
Put the mic up, I'm ready.
Okay. So the first time we had a guest on this show, Gaz, right? Chris Poole,
Oh,
episode 3.
I knew this were coming back to haunt me.
45 minutes late, Liam was. 40 with a guest.
What
Gaz.
were you doing?
Oh, sorry, you want an
Yeah,
explanation?
Yeah.
What were you
We want to
doing?
know, mate.
Well, I could tell you, but it was...
He was in Bucknell, he said, at some point.
He was
This-
in his missus.
This was 10 minutes
I
after we
wish.
should have started. I'm in
That's the
Bucknell.
only valid excuse.
I'm on my way. I'm in Bucknell.
Is it too late to use that, guys? Or...
Yeah, it's now, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Shocking.
Sorry,
Late
lads.
people.
Sorry.
Glyn was always late.
Oh.
Former member of Round in Circles. Amazing musician.
Not-
One of our best friends. Always late.
Not-
for everything.
Not only late, but even if he wasn't turning up, he'd be late and telling you that he wasn't turning up.
So he'd tell you late
We'd
that he was
all
going to
get
be late.
here, and it'd be like, oh, yeah, band practice at 7, 7:30. Oh, really sorry, guys, can't make it.
I'm gonna be
Band's
late.
I'm
here.
going to be late.
I've rushed, mate, through
already know.
rush hour traffic straight after work, skipped me tea to get here for you. That nice one, dude. I love Glyn as well. He's such a nice guy. I don't think he would ever do that to intentionally piss anybody off.
Is Glenn
He's
the guy
such
that
a
goes
nice
to America?
guy.
all
It's
the
still,
time?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Glyn.
that's
He's
yeah.
the
never
one.
late for his flight, though, is he?
Still
Oh.
doesn't beat the greatest excuse for being late for band practice that I've ever heard.
Oh, this is gonna be such a bullshit story now. It's not gonna be the truth, is it?
It was Gaz and his, sorry I'm late, guys, just picking me toothbrush up from my nan's.
It wasn't me nan's. It was
What?
my at the time
Toothbrush.
girlfriend's.
No, it wasn't. It was his
It
nan's.
wasn't man.
Picking his toothbrush up from his nan's,
You mean-
so
Right,
he was late for
let's
band
go
practice.
through this logically.
Oh, is it-
Shocking.
At the time,
We've got him.
At the time, I'd have been about 17 years old. Why would my toothbrush be at my nan's? It was at
I
my
don't know.
girlfriend's.
Ask Luke. He spends a lot of time with nans.
Oh.
In the members only club.
Members only club. Luke Gordon.
It was a toothbrush. It wasn't at my house. It wasn't at my nan's. It was my girlfriend's.
It's like having a one-night stand and going back for your hoodie, isn't it? It's just like,
Yeah,
it's gone.
I mean, yeah, it was a piss poor excuse. I'll give you that. But that's the actual version of it.
There you go.
I wanted to discuss a little one that I'd been thinking of, and it was sleeping habits. I know we touched upon Kipping earlier.
Did.
Sleeping habits, and I'm having a bit of trouble with my missus at the moment. Me and her love each other, happily married.
Have you found your wedding ring yet? Just so
No,
it's,
I
it's
haven't.
oh, for
I haven't,
fuck's
mate.
sake.
It's not about that. That's
I
another
know,
thing she's
sorry.
mad about.
Why was
Sorry.
your wedding ring off, Steve-O?
It's on my necklace, guys.
Oh,
Remember?
where's your
And
necklace,
I
Stephen?
don't know. I don't know. I haven't
These
got
are
a
all
clue.
questions asked by Sammy. then.
Probably in a tip
We're
somewhere.
just
Big
tying
man
it
have
in.
had it.
Tying it into last week's.
So we're a little bit incompatible with sleeping. Me and my missus are. My missus,
It's okay, mate. There's tutorials for shit like that.
mate.
You'll be all right.
Honestly,
There's an advert halfway through it, though.
You'll find it eventually.
personal problems.
Yeah.
My missus has to have the telly on, pretty loud,
Oh, no.
light, and the electric blanket on like 10 in the middle of July.
Oh, you said earlier 8 was the perfect setting, so...
No, it's the perfect setting for winter.
Oh, right, okay.
Not for you don't have the electric blanket on in summertime. Maybe one if it's got a bit parky, you know.
Your electricity bill go through the roof and
Yeah,
then...
yeah. So
Don't
That
get
council
started on
tax
that.
to go
Yeah.
I sleep in pitch blackness with no sound,
Okay.
and I like the bed to be cold so I get myself warm when I'm in it, right? What we going to do? What are we going to do? Because
Easy.
obviously I'm a nice guy. I end up giving in and letting my missus have what she wants.
Easy.
So I get a little tiny sliver on the edge next to. There's a radiator there that's not on, so it's nice and cold. So I have put a piece of my leg on the radiator.
my
so it's
God.
like, oh, it's dead nice and cold, that is. And then I've got a great big TV blaring away, and it's light, so I just can't sleep at all.
You know how you're getting all these adverts for like marriage counsellors, guys, on your phone and stuff
From
like that?
him?
It's from future. It's predicted this in future right now. from
There's a
him.
dead easy solution to this, mate, and my nan and granddad will swear by this, is the only way to have a happy marriage for as long as they've been married, I'm sure.
Go on.
Separate bedrooms.
Separate bedrooms.
Yep.
What's the point in being married?
Well, obviously, that's one room, isn't it? But
Well, yeah.
Do you have a rota of which room you can do it in?
Well, no, because I'm fine.
Do you have
I could sleep
doing it
standing
in
up,
room?
mate. I have no issues with sleeping. I could sleep standing up.
I can't, mate. I'm a fussy sleeper. I am, but
I'm a grouchy sleeper.
I don't really know how to solve, apart from like you've just said, like separate bedrooms. I don't really know what to do.
Key to a happy marriage, mate. I mean, like I say, I've got no issue with it, but
At the moment, unfortunately, our spare room has already got occupants. It's got 2 guinea pigs.
who's are the guinea pigs?
Me missus.
Right, so her
Gaz-
and the
Gaz-
guinea pigs?
She wouldn't be able to fit a bed in the spare room now. She has bought a house, an actual house.
For the guinea
For the
pigs?
guinea pigs. It's 3 stories tall.
Are you having to pay council tax on it?
It's half the size of this room we're in, Gaz. It's ridiculous.
You tell me
I've
a
never
story
seen
on
anything
Tuesday.
like it in your life. I
believe it.
couldn't believe it.
No.
She went up the town. And I thought she was going back, pets at home, like by a little hutch, like you do for an hamster or a
Yeah,
rabbit
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it is. This thing is you need a mortgage for.
Comes with its own
ludicrous.
elevator.
Absolutely ludicrous. It's taken up 2/3 of the fucking
Your
spare
water
room.
rates will have gone up now, mate, almost definitely.
yeah. It's got an hot tub right back.
Couldn't believe it, mate. Couldn't believe it. But no, I don't know what I'm going to do regarding sleeping habits. The only time we really get any sleep is when she's on night. So I can sleep at night and she sleeps in the day and then everything's sound. But, what are we going to do? It's the only problem we've got in our marriage,
a
though. So
thing
we're
I
all right.
have
We're all right,
is
really.
I have to have like my girlfriend does exactly the same, like has the TV on, and but I have to have the volume on a certain limit. It can't go above a certain number, and it can't go above 4 because it's like 4 is just talking like this, and then 5 is like talking like this.
Do you know another weird one my missus does? I'm sure she won't mind me saying. People have always got little quirks and superstitions. My lady, whenever you've got the TV on or the volume in the car or wherever you might be, has to be even numbers.
Oh,
yeah.
that's such...
What
no,
is
I'm
that
not
all
having
about?
that. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
No,
I'm
it's
not having
true.
that one.
Honestly, it's true.
I'm
got to
sure
say
it
it,
is,
Sam.
but I don't... why? I don't get it. I don't get that one.
Gaz, it's time for our last song of the evening.
Okay.
Gaz has chosen this. This is from our band, our proper band, the mighty RIC, Round in Circles.
Not Liam.
Not with not Liam. Yeah, that was the first ever episode.
Liam's
that
the
was.
4th member of Round
Not
in
Liam.
Circles.
Liam can actually play the guitar.
He's
Yeah.
like the 5th Beatle.
He kept this quiet for months. Dropped it on me a few weeks back.
What, the guitar?
Yeah,
Did
he can
it?
play guitar.
Yeah, let me in your band, bang.
Couldn't believe it. This is a song that was one of the very first that we wrote, guys. Well,
Yeah.
I wrote, but we worked on together
on
and
together, yeah.
produced together back in probably 2004 or 5.
About then, yeah.
And this is a song called Amy. There's a lot to it. We won't touch upon it.
Yeah, we won't go into the
We won't go into the ins and outs.
the ins and outs and the background of the song and why it was written and all of that.
But it's about a girl,
Yeah.
obviously, called
Okay.
Amy.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first time that we did a song where I actually thought, Gaz is actually really good. He's really good. So we bought this out of retirement. We hadn't played this for a long time. We played this in our first band, which was Saving Grace, and we hadn't played this in a long time. And last year, we decided to bring it out as one of the songs you wanted to bring out of retirement, wasn't it, Gaz? So we re-recorded it as Round in Circles. It's on the upcoming album. I think it's track 11, something like that.
Yeah, it's towards
whatever
the
it
end of
is.
the album, yeah. And for me, it's an absolute gem.
Gaz loves this song, so we're gonna have a listen. Check us out all the usual places, and this album is forthcoming in the next few months when we can get out there and play it. This is Amy by us, Round in Circles.
Tragedy can maul the best of us, kill us with the smallest fuss. innocence will pay. Amy's life could wipe the floor with you. 17 gone 22. What else can I say? Never listen to someone all through the night. I want her in my life. It's Amy's life, is Amy sad? Does she regret the fun she's had? She's sick and tired of all that shit that somehow came along with it. She's so fine, where will she be? All mine, Amy, won't you say? Little things that make my world go round. Amy brings my feelings out. She has touched my heart. What the hell am I supposed to do? I can't rest till I'm with you. You tear me apart. Never listen to someone all through the night. I want her in my life. It's Amy's life, is Amy sad? Does she regret the fun she's had? She's sick and tired of all that shit that somehow came along with it. She's so fine, where will she be? On mine, Amy, won't you say? Amy, won't you say? We can scream and we can fight. I can dream of you at night. I hope that you want me to, want me just like I want you. It's Amy's life, is Amy sad? Does she regret the fun she's had? She's sick and tired of all that shit that somehow came along with it. She's so fine, when will she be on mine? Amy, won't you say? Amy, won't you say? Amy, won't you say? Amy, won't you say? Amy, won't you say?
That was the mighty Round in Circles here on the Anger Management Podcast with me, Andy Stevenson.
Me, Liam Simcox.
And me, Gaz Ryder.
It's nice to have someone on who actually uses proper names,
I
isn't
know.
it? Unlike Luke with his mad, stupid names last week.
Mr. Handsome, sexy bastard, Luke Gordon. No, shut up, Luke. Shut
was-
up, Luke.
That was us. Anyway, Round in Circles with the song Amy will be out on our forthcoming album, Life 1, Round in Circles 0, which will be out hopefully in the next couple of months.
After COVID times.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just
of
waiting.
course.
We're waiting until COVID's all done and dusted, and we can actually go out and play it properly.
And they're waiting to get ticket.
So you can find Round in Circles in all the usual places, Liam.
Yes, you can find them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Spotify. Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, we're
Hey,
everywhere,
this
mate.
is your
Literally,
band, and I'm
literally.
plugging you for your
I'll
band.
tell you where you won't find us, and that's in the sugar mill.
Oh, stick booted.
That's very true. But
Yeah.
We're not allowed
allowed
anymore because of him.
Yeah, we made the story.
we always try to finish the show on a light note.
Yes.
I
It's not all doom and gloom.
I usually come up with a question to ask you guys. I was watching a little video today. There's a Friends TV special coming out.
Waste of time.
That's wrong.
I know how passionate you are about
nice
Friends.
opinion, Liam, but wrong.
Anyway, what's the light note you wanted to finish on?
So,
All I'm messing, because I know how much you love
It got me
Friends.
thinking. I do love Friends. My son is named after Jerry Tribbiani. My son's
No
called
way.
Jerry.
I've known you for how long now? I didn't know that until just.
You so did.
I did not.
Really?
I swear to God, did not know that.
Really?
Just found that out.
No way. Yeah. That's
How you
my,
doing?
My boy is named after the character Joey Tribbiani from Friends. So I'm quite excited. It's not a proper episode. They've got them all back together in the same room, some of the old sets and blah blah blah. So should be something interesting to have a look at and have a watch. I wanted to ask you guys if you could bring back a program. Anything, whatever it is that you've loved in your life that's finished and gone, what would you bring back?
I wish you'd give me a bit more of a heads up for this one.
I know, same.
I feel like I need a bit of time to really consider this.
This is the thing. You usually get more honest answers
Yeah.
when it's a bit more.
No, because I'll go home now. I'll be thinking about this for an hour, and then I'll go, oh, I should have said that.
Should have said that.
No, I look like an idiot now. Should have said that.
I'll tell you one that I'm re-watching.
Okay.
Is and we touched on this on the podcast a few episodes ago, towards the beginning. The original 1994 animated Spider-Man series, and like
That's great.
That was just
Okay.
outstanding. For anyone who hasn't watched it, like you want to watch a superhero TV series, watch that. It's just I love it, and I've just started season 2, and I'd like to see more of it, like that style and the voice acting. I mean, there's questionable voice acting sometimes, like there's the Shocker clip. But we'll not go into that. But yeah, I think if
I don't know what that is. I assume you're on about Shocker, the bad guy.
like Shocker the bad guy, yeah. Basically Peter Parker gets
I was thinking about something else entirely.
gets
Show her the shocker.
gets the symbiote, and then he becomes the Black Spider-Man, and then obviously he's
Right.
chasing Shocker, and he's like, "Come back here, Shocker! I'll just do-" like literally like that, like terrible voice acting.
For those of you not watching on YouTube, Liam almost had an aneurysm then.
I was like, I have to
he
put.
was
I
really
commit-
getting into
I
it.
have to commit to it. And so, yeah, I think just off the top of my head, I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be more, but I like to see more of that, like just that style and how it was in the storyline. And obviously it was as accurate as to the comics as possible. So, yeah, something like that for me.
Gaz.
I got 3 off the top of my head.
Okay,
Ooh.
let's see them.
One of them's quite a quirky one. It was a TV show from probably about 2011, maybe. TV show called Flash Forward, and I think it was
Oh,
on.
yes.
Never seen
Yeah, I think it was
I'm
on
familiar with it.
HBO or
Yeah, it
something like that, or
was, yeah.
Showtime, an American TV, network. And they only had one series, and typically in America you have half the season, and then it splits for the mid-season break, and then they come back, don't they? And during the mid-season break, they decided that they weren't going to continue with this show. They were going
think
to
I watched
finish
all
off that series, and then that was going to be it. And it was kind of about the show starts off whereby everybody blacks out for a minute or 2 minutes all across the planet, and they all have like a glimpse into the future. And if they don't, it's because you're not in the future.
Yes.
Unlucky. But if you did have a glimpse into the future, it was a bit weird. And the show then goes on to sort of like, does it all come to fruition?
Does it show you how you die or something like that?
It doesn't necessarily show you how you
Interesting
die,
Yeah,
but it
it's
was a
good.
really, really
It
good
was
TV
good.
show. I think you'd like it actually, but I think what had happened is they'd realised that the show wasn't doing that well in America. It was doing great over here, but they weren't going to carry it on. And so the writers decided they were going to wrap it up, but they wrapped it up in a way that if another network wanted to pick it up, they could run with it again. So the show finished by having another flash forward. So it's like finishing it, but not finishing it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the most frustrating thing in the world because I knew the chances of it coming back were going to be slim to none, and it hasn't. So I definitely bring that
I
back.
haven't seen that. I
That
have
was
I have
such a good
seen
one.
it,
That sounds
but
like
it's been
something
a
I'd
long
like.
time.
Yeah, you would.
You
It's-
would like
yeah,
that.
it is good. The other one, I think bringing it back might actually ruin it, but it was another sort of like HBO Showtime kind of program called Californication.
Oh, yeah. That
with,
was David Duchovny.
David Duchovny, yeah. And I think it was perfectly bittersweet in that it was funny, it was tragic, it had drama in it, had comedy in. There was quite a lot of nice ladies in it. There was a lot of sex scenes. That was a good show. I'd probably bring that back, but that had sort of probably run its course, really. I think that would be like a Friends, like if it comes back, is it going to be any good or is it going to be terrible?
I think for me, I've got a couple as well. Well, I've probably got 3. One I touched on last week was just my favourite show ever. I'd love to revisit Star Trek Deep Space
Yeah,
Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine is my favourite TV show of all time. I loved it, and I would just love to go back, maybe like 20, 25 years in the future. Most of the cast are still alive. You know, I know. There's one or two have passed away now, but I still think it'd be great, and it's just my favourite series. Another one that I would absolutely love is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
I knew you were going to say that.
that is a
love
good
that
one.
If you'd had a girl,
Love it.
then I'm sure you would have named her Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. I just, not only do I absolutely love Sarah Michelle Gellar, I just love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love the whole analogy of high school as monsters. I just think it's great. And I loved high school, but you can just see the analogy going on all the way through, and when she goes off to university and all the rest of it, and it's, I just think it's fantastic. I think I love Joss Whedon, which is why I'm going to say neither of those two would actually be my first choice, because maybe, like Gaz says, they perhaps run the course. A show that absolutely didn't run its course and was cancelled. They made a film about it, which was also amazing. The film was called Serenity, and the series was called Firefly. And it was Joss Whedon.
Never seen that.
Joss Whedon.
I've seen it.
It was
a long time.
the
ago.
Wild West in space.
Yeah, basically.
And it was absolutely fucking awesome. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, very much. There was a young girl with special powers. Nathan Fillion was the main guy in it. And it was fantastic. The humour, the comedy was brilliant. The action was brilliant. It was very topical. It was just a great show. And for some unknown reason, they cancelled it. It's one of the highest rated shows, the science fiction shows ever. And they made one series, cancelled it, made a film, which was also awesome. And it's Joss Whedon, the bloke who like makes a gazillion quid every time he directs a Marvel movie.
It's got a massive cult following as well, hasn't it?
And honestly, huge cult following, and it's so good. It's one of the best. It's in my top 5 shows I've ever seen, and it lasted for one series, and I just couldn't believe that they cancelled it. You know, every now and again they cancel a show, and you just go, "What have you done that?" Oh, they tried to cancel Family Guy about 12 times. It's like, what are you doing? It's awesome. Keep making it.
What would be your one then, Gaz?
I think the third and final one, actually the one that I would bring back, and I don't think it's been finished for that long, but never mind the Buzzcocks.
Oh yeah, that was a great. But again,
so good.
Would the thing with sort of topical comedy shows in this day and age, I'm not sure how much they'd be allowed to get away with. I mean, what network would you air it on? Because everybody's eternally offended by everything all the time. So how would you?
Who was your best presenter on it, though?
Oh, I don't know.
There's been a couple of really good ones.
I don't know. I'd have to think about
Mark
that.
Lamar is the classic.
Yeah, Mark.
And I think Simon Amstel was brilliantly funny on it as well.
Mark Lamar would be my one, mate. I'm not.
Just
I couldn't see
that
past
show
him, really.
has been. It's produced some of the best moments on TV.
I always
in
preferred,
terms of
I got news for you. That I
just-
always preferred
I
that
think-
to Buzzcocks.
Why I think I was more
Did you not?
affiliated to Buzzcocks
Loved
is
it.
being a musician. You get some musicians that take themselves way too seriously.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
music should be fun. And if you were a musician that took yourself too seriously on Nevermind the Buzzcocks,
Yeah, they'd
you
hammer
got
you.
fleeced.
Yeah.
You got absolutely
Can you remember when
rinsed.
he went
That's so
on?
true.
Preston.
That's it. At
I knew
Ordinary
that's
Boys.
what you were gonna say.
Yeah, and he just fucking kicked off, and everyone just started doing
walks
it
off.
even more, and he just storms off. It was like that.
Who was that? I never saw that.
It was a guy called Preston from a band called the Ordinary Boys, and the Ordinary
Yeah,
Boys
like
were
lead singer.
in indie band from like 2000 and something. I really liked them.
Yeah, they were
saw
good.
them at the Sugar Mill.
Right.
They were dead good. But Preston sort of sold out and went on to did he go on to Celebrity Big Brother?
Yeah,
or
he
something
married.
Like that?
He married her.
And he
after-
married another contestant off
That's
it
it.
called Chantal, who wrote a book. And Chantal is your typical sort of like blonde stereotype.
Yeah.
And they went on, and Simon Amstel was just reading quotes from a book.
Right.
And he opens it at one page and sort of goes, "The Paris Hilton work was a particular low point for me." And he's reading it out, and Preston just gets up and walks off. And he comes back with a quip like, "What? I was only reading his wife's book. I mean, what's these problems like?"
So he got to stick up his
Oh,
arse.
mate, yeah,
Brilliant.
it was so, and like the other one being Donny Tourette,
Oh,
a guy
yeah,
who's ludicrously into himself, and again got rinsed. Just funny.
I used to like
Brilliant.
Again, though, my point is, probably wouldn't be allowed to do that now. Because all
No.
they'd have to do is go, oh, I'm offended, said something that's
Which would
offended
make
me.
it better.
Yeah.
Just make it
just
better.
it'd be cancelled. And whoever had said the comment would be cancelled and never be able to go work again. And that's the issue you're facing with comedy today, I think. Horrible. So anyway, final choice, Gaz.
That one. Never mind the bus.
Never mind the
Yeah,
bus
great
cars.
choice.
Yeah.
Liam,
Yeah, I'd say
Final
the
choice.
old animated Spider-Man series.
and mine is Serenity. It's nearly home time.
I know. Jurgen's
It's-
telling us
it's
home time.
episode 7. Jurgen has spoken. He's telling us it's home time.
Yes.
Liam, refresh us. What is our poll this week? It's the COVID one, mate.
Oh,
just so you
thanks.
know.
Do you think
Andy,
we'll
do you want to
have...
refresh Liam first?
I know. I was like,
We'll cut that bit out.
Yeah. Obviously, we're
Go,
asking.
go again.
Liam, tell the listeners what our poll is this week.
We're asking the listeners this week on Twitter at AngerManagePod, do you think there'll be a 4th lockdown?
Lockdown 4, A New Hope.
Oh, no. It won't be a new hope because it'll be a 4th lockdown, Andy.
Lockdown 4, The Last Hope. Lockdown 4, No
My
Ho-
final
no
hope.
Where's LG? He's there.
Lockdown 4.
Lockdown 4, My Final Hope.
Yes, but you can find us on all our socials. If you want to get in touch, you can send us a message on Facebook, Anger Management Studios, on Instagram, Anger Management Studios, or find us on Twitter at Anger Manage Pod. If you want to get in touch and send your music over, or you want to have a friendly chat.
I'd like to say thanks to the artists that we've featured again this evening. Fantastic, as always. Keep them coming, guys. You want to be on the show? Throw us your music. Get in
Yes.
touch. We'll always endeavour to respond whenever we can. So, it's been episode 7.
Yes,
You've
it
been
has.
listening to me, Andy Stevenson.
Me, Liam Simcox.
And me, Gaz Ryder.
We'll catch you again next time.
Yeah, of course.
Look after yourselves.
And
the
each other.
final episode
Final.
of season 1 of the Anger Management
There we go.
Podcast. But before we do go,
Oh, hang on. Liam's remembered something.
just want to say thank you for coming on to the podcast, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for
There
having
you
me.
go. I'll do it because Andy won't do it.
I've said
Liam-
thanks to him loads
Oh,
of times over the years.
fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Thanks for playing that drum part wrong, Gaz.
But no, seriously, thank you very much for listening, and hopefully catch you again in the next episode where we've got our celebrity guest.
Celebrity guest. Brilliant.
Yes.
Bring on
Who is
next
it?
week. Can't tell you yet,
We'll
Gaz.
tell you
I
off air.
probably wouldn't know who it is.
We'll tell you off air.
Still probably won't know.
Prince Harry. No, it's not.
I know.
We'll see you next week, guys. Look
See-
after yourselves.
See you later, guys.
Bye.